Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
Bitcoin now at 41,900, Ethereum 2,900, underneath a $3,000 mark, and 80 cents for XRP right now. We're off by 7.48% on the 7-day. Look at this, 80 cents flat on the bottom price range and 85.37 on the top. We'll keep an eye on it. Look at this here. I'm always fascinated by this because we understand Ripple told us they are not doing programmatic sales with exchanges. So I interpret that, as many others have thus far, that means they're not selling XRP for the secondary market in crypto exchanges to sell to you and I. So the XRP that we are buying, when we do buy it from Uphold, God bless them for being able to offer it still, I have to feel like we're buying what's left, unless we get a decision through this case or otherwise that allows it to be relisted. Always very interesting. So I assume that this 175 million is going towards ODL corridors. Take a look right here, because this is a reminder that, look, Ripple's back up on the board, but the Uphold is running very low on link2.com. Make sure you check it out. Click the link in the description if you need to. This is really, really where you get the best opportunities, I believe, not financial advice, in private equity, in the fintech blockchain space, and everything else that they offer. Ripple, Uphold, Link2 itself are top sellers on this platform. Take a look right here. Ukraine passes a law legalizing Bitcoin. They're joining El Salvador. The dominoes are falling. But will it stay? Will it remain? Will El Salvador and Ukraine and anyone else who follows suit run into trouble down the road? We have seen warning shots fired by the IMF, World Bank, and other global entities and global groups. We will keep an eye on it to see what happens here. Look here, $315,000 worth of digital yuan is transacted daily at the Beijing Olympics. Now, I know that everybody here in the United States is really frustrated, generally speaking, with the United States, because they've been a laggard in getting a central bank digital currency or a public-private relationship with a digital dollar, so we can leapfrog to the front of the fourth industrial revolution and really be the leader and not just somewhat of a participant at some point in this revolution. We will keep an eye on that too. I do believe that we are going to see some kind of a relationship, more than likely a public-private relationship with USD coin, which is Circle, backed by Goldman Sachs. That's my speculation. I'm sticking to it. I'll make the video if I'm wrong. Fidelity International launches Bitcoin ETP, but it's not here in the States, as you can imagine. The exchange-traded project is on Deutsches Börse, which is the German exchange. Congrats to them. I don't need to read the article to you, but, you know, this is more pressure around the world to have the United States get the clarity they need and get the exchanges, if they're going to get them tucked into some regulatory framework, SEC or otherwise. Let's get it done. Now, I'm not going to play this video here, but believe it or not, they're actually having Jay Clayton on as an expert advisor to explain what shorting something means and what short sellers are, and he does explain it, but I have to say, More than that, I really hope that Becky Quick from CNBC and everyone else on the CNBC staff could find the journalistic courage to ask Jay Clayton why a public audit was never done on the Ethereum ICO. And for that matter, why isn't one done now? To Gary Gensler. Let's keep going here. We got a lot to look at, ladies and gentlemen. Two of the banks have successfully completed a full cycle of digital ruble tests and transfers between clients using mobile banking applications, the regulator said. You got it. First it's China, and now it's Russia. Russia reports the first successful digital ruble transfers between the users. Things are escalating much faster than I believe we understand. I really do. And I know, and I say that for all of us. I'm included in that loop. Because the truth is if this is what we're being told on the front end, right, of the public awareness side, what do you think they already know behind closed doors? Speaking of behind closed doors, this one here comes from XR Pizza. I do think we need a globally consistent regulatory framework. It's important that we get to a solution as quickly as possible, says JP Morgan. Yeah, one of the biggest offenders in manipulating the metals in the U.S. Treasury's bond market, they want clarity. They want regulations so they can break them, I suppose. But it does go on to say that here. I really don't need to read this article to you here either, because the truth is, this is what they're talking about. I do want to hit you with this one portion of it, though, where it says, JP Morgan executive said the new rules are urgently needed to give the bank certainty in handling crypto assets on behalf of large customers who seek exposure in this asset class, really echoing what we have talked about here on this channel a lot, which is the banks are sick and tired of watching these exchanges take money from their customers and they're not able to offer it to them. That is about to change very soon. They go on to say, a growing number of large institutions, including hedge funds, are interested in investing, gaining exposure to the crypto asset class. According to Wells Fargo, cryptocurrency has entered the hyper-adoption phase. This is what the largest banks in the United States of America are saying, ladies and gentlemen, while Gary Gensler's got his thumb stuck in his, I'm not going to finish it, but nevertheless, that's what's going on here, and I'm continuing to accumulate. That's what I can tell you. Yeah. Now, here's a question I asked, and I've asked it before, but we've covered the SEC Sunshine Meeting Acts, and when we're able to, when they're made public. Well, the last one was made public, and one of the talking points was voting on shortening the standard settlement cycle time for securities transactions. I asked, and actually commented, using the XRP ledger could play an important role in shortening the settlement time for derivatives. Don't believe it, it's still true. I know you're not a fan of him, but listen to what he says. Behind our retail trades is something called a clearinghouse. They exist to reduce the risk of our capital markets by stepping between buyers and sellers to help ensure that they get their securities on one side and cash on the other. They also add some time between when you execute a buy order, for example, and when you actually get the stock. If you enter into a trade on a Monday, say, the cash and securities don't finish changing hands until Wednesday. That's called 2-day settlement. But what if the price goes way up
and the seller no longer wants to hand over securities? Or what if the broker goes out of business before that 2 days were up? So clearinghouses need to have rules standing in the middle to reduce those risks. And importantly, the parties to the trade need to post some money called collateral, or technically margin, to cover any of those potential losses. The longer it takes for a trade to settle, the slower the plumbing. The more risk our markets assume, the more risk fundamentally that we all assume. The good news, though, is we now have the technology to shorten that plumbing to 1 day, or even perhaps the same day you buy a stock on Monday, you get it on Tuesday, or maybe even Monday evening. Shortening the settlement cycle could be an important step.
And I believe that much I agree with Gary Gensler. I do believe that it is an important step and a vital step. And we've talked here plenty about the idea that the GameStop issue that went on with retail investors using social media to manipulate a trade was really used and still used as a narrative for this argument and for this action that is being taken here. Now, with that understanding, yes, I am suggesting the XRP ledger could play an important role to shortening the settlement time because of the speed and efficiency of using XRP as collateral to settle these items. Now, some people are pushing back and they'll say, you know what, Brad, I think you're really reaching here. Am I? Let's take a look. Let's see if I am reaching. Who uses SWIFT? Because we all know, and I've been saying it for a very long time, that I believe Ripple Net will become the new digital arm of SWIFT. There'll be some kind of merger or acquisition or something to take place, or collaboration to take place, where they do some kind of share of the transaction fees and settlements or what have you, because SWIFT has not done the work to stay relevant. So at some point, there's going to be some form of market capture, 3%, 7%, 10%, I don't know, because you don't have to have 100% to get that entity to come your way. All you have to do is have the leverage and momentum, and they have it. I really believe that they have it, especially when you look at the amount of banks and the size of those banks that are on RippleNet itself. So, with that, what does SWIFT do? Who uses SWIFT? Banks, brokerage institutions, trading houses. Oh, really? Securities dealers. Oh, you mean like the ones that Gary Gensler was just talking about in the video? And clearing houses too? Depositories, you say? Exchanges, corporate business houses, treasury market participants. All of these are customers and the entities that use SWIFT. Brad Garlinghouse has made a very clear statement years ago. We're not just looking to take over SWIFT and compete with SWIFT. In fact, what they're doing is dismantling it piece by piece, is what they're doing. Then you look at what would it take to be able to use something like the XRP ledger, which is a decentralized exchange to the world, plugging in the liquidity needed from all the different entities, clearing houses and banks and participants in these trades in the derivatives market for settlement. Well, it would take this non-bank institution, this non-bank financial company, to get a SIFMU, a systemically important designation, as it says here from Dodd-Frank. And if you get that designation, which we just talked about, FSOC, systemically important designations for which there were Senate members arguing from Nellie Liang over stable coins. If stable coins can be that important to the dollar and the financial system, couldn't the XRP ledger and XRP as a bridge currency be just as important to the settlement of the derivatives market and many other kinds of transactions for the world? That is what it's for. Then you look here back at 2019 where blockchain R3 Corda Settler, there's the Corda platform that the companies working with R3 upload to and build off of, and they have access to the Corda Settler for settlement of payment using a digital asset, which at the time in 2019 was cited as XRP. Corda Settler depends on XRP, the token, and the partnership puts Swift and Ripple, the two rivals, in direct connection. This is back in 2019. Now, R3 has made it very clear that they want to use other assets as well as XRP, but they made it very clear that XRP is a solution for digital settlement. Now, I don't know about you, but there's enough there for me to ask myself the question, could this SEC case yield a result that actually brings Ripple, XRP, and the XRP ledger side by side with the SEC? Well, let's take a look at this. This is Stuart Alderati from September 4th in 2019. Shout out to the one and only Darren Moore Jr. here. Listen to this little clip here about what the SEC thinks of the XRP ledger.
And using, what Ripple does is using an open, permissionless ledger like the XRP ledger to effect cross-border trades using a bridge currency. So Ripple's not looking to replace fiat. We're not looking to compete with fiat. We're not looking to compete with central banks. And the XRP sits, as I said, on an open, permissionless ledger. How do I know that it's open and permissionless? Because the Chief Technology Officer at Ripple tells me it is. He explains it to me. But I also have hard evidence. The SEC announced about a month or two ago that they're going to establish a node on the XRP ledger and other open and permissionless ledgers. The SEC didn't call Ripple to ask permission to do that. They're just going to do that. So I think...
And there you have it. So in 2019, the SEC made it very clear before even deciding to sue Ripple over XRP, being an unregistered security as they claim today, they intended to run a validator node on the network as well as other protocols. So it, to me, is not out of the realm of possibility that one of the outcomes of this SEC versus Ripple could be the SEC working very closely with Ripple and the XRP Ledger Foundation on using such a technology, and I am speculating, for settlement of the derivatives market, just as we see the potential for it to play a role in SWIFT and all the other areas of settlement as well. Let's take a look at this, because this is Riz right here reminding us that today's the day. SEC versus Ripple. Here's how two 2012 memos can turn the tide of the milestone crypto case. What he's talking about here is, in fact, the memos here that are going to be coughed up. And basically, one of the pillars of Ripple's defense is that it simply did not know that the XRP token could be categorized as a security. The SEC, the argument goes, should have notified the company of its intention before taking matter to court. By not doing so, the agency denied Ripple what is known as fair notice. The powerful argument could go bust, though, if it turns out that Ripple knew it was possible the SEC would take issue with the status of the token. Peter Vogel of the Council, a member of the blockchain task force of the law firm Foley and Lardner, explained to Cointelegraph, U.S. District Judge Annalisa Torres ruled that by February 17th, today, Ripple would have to make public sealed legal memos from 2012 from Ripple's lawyers advising Ripple before launching XRP. The SEC claims that Ripple was advised in 2012 that XRP would be deemed a security under federal law. So Ripple was well aware of the risk that the SEC would bring a lawsuit. Ripple claims that the 2012 legal memos related only to proprietary internal strategies. So we will see how that goes. One of the things I wanted to give you here is from the two Jameses. It's James Rule XRP and James K. Filan here. He's asking 17th or the 24th, because we know the 24th is an important day as well. And shout out to James K. Filan for this. He says, the SEC motion for reconsideration of the DPP, which is Deliberative Process Privilege, ruling should be filed today. The unsealing of the legal memos also should happen today. That depends on whether Ripple files newly redacted memos or just allows the court to unseal the previously filed and redacted memos. On the 24th, the SEC has to respond to Garlinghouse motion to compel turnover of the Estabrook notes. On February 25th, Ripple must respond to the SEC's motion for reconsideration of DPP ruling, and the Estabrook notes must be submitted to Judge Netburn for in-camera review.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.